Today we are at the mouth of Yellow Creek, outside of Wellsville, Ohio. Near this spot, Logan the Orator had his village, and across the river is where Logan's family was massacred. Logan the Orator was a Cayuga orator and war leader. His father was Shilkellomi of the Oneida, and his mother was Neonoma, a Cayuga. Children took the clan or tribe of the mother, so he was Cayuga. His name was Toa, but he took the name James Logan due to a prevailing practice out of admiration of his father's friend James Logan, who was a Pennsylvanian official who worked closely with Shilkellomi to maintain the Covenant chain, which were a series of alliances and treaties developed between the Iroquois Confederacy and the British colonies of North America. Due to disruption of warfare, disease, and encroachment, some Seneca, Susquehannock, Cayuga, and Lenape joined together in a process of ethnogenesis to create the Mingo tribe in the Ohio country. Logan was one who did so. The Mingo tribe is now known as the Seneca-Cayuga Nation. Logan maintained friendly relationships with white settlers until his family was massacred on April 30th, 1774. A group of Virginia settlers, led by Daniel Greathouse, murdered a number of Mingo, among them Logan's brother John Petty, his mother Neonoma, his sister Kune, and her unborn son. After the killings, many of the bodies were mutilated. Jacob Greathouse, brother of Daniel, ripped open Kune's abdomen and removed and scalped her unborn son. The victims had been lured to the cabin of Joshua Baker, a settler and rum trader who lived across the Ohio River from their village. The only survivor was Kune's young daughter, as she was multiracial and her father was John Gibson, a prominent trader, and they wanted to give her to her father. At least 2 canoes were dispatched from the Yellow Creek village to save their members, but Greathouse's men concealed along the river repelled them. In all, about 12 Mingo were murdered in the cabin and on the river. Logan was not in the area and was summoned to return by runners. Influential tribal chiefs such as Cornstalk, White Eyes, and Gayasuda attempted to negotiate a peaceful resolution, lest the larger war develop. However, by custom, Logan had the right to retaliate for the murders. Several parties of mixed Mingo and Shawnee soon struck the frontier, including one led by Logan. They attacked settlers, both killing and taking captives. The royal governor of Virginia, Lord Dunmore, responded by launching an expedition against the Mingo and Shawnee known as Lord Dunmore's War. The only major battle was the Battle of Point Pleasant that Logan was not at. After the battle, Dunmore's army marched into the Ohio country and compelled the tribes to agree to a peace treaty. Logan refused to attend the negotiations and instead made a speech. Logan met his brother-in-law, John Gibson, Kune's husband, as a British envoy here at the site where the Logan's Elm once stood, outside Circleville, Ohio. He led Gibson into a copse of woods where he wept and delivered his speech. I appeal to any white man to say if he ever entered Logan's cabin hungry, and he gave him not meat, if he ever came cold and naked, and he clothed him not. During the course of the last long and bloody war, Logan remained idle in his cabin, an advocate for peace. Such was my love for the whites, that my countrymen pointed as they passed and said, Logan is the friend of the white men. I have even thought to live with you, but for the injuries of one man, Colonel Cressop, the last spring, in cold blood and unprovoked, murdered all the relations of Logan, not sparing even my women and children. There runs not a drop of my blood in the veins of any living creature. This has called on me for revenge. I have sought it. I have killed many. I have fully glutted my vengeance. For my country, I rejoiced at the beams of peace, but do not harbor a thought that mine is the joy of fear. Logan never felt fear. He will not turn on his heel to save his life. Who is there to mourn for Logan? Not one. Gibson then relayed this speech to Lord Dunmore. It was first published in the Virginia Gazette in 1775, but was popularized when Thomas Jefferson reprinted it in his book, Notes on the State of Virginia, in 1782. The elm tree under which he gave the speech was weakened by Dutch elm disease and died in 1964 from storm damage. Not much is known about the rest of Logan's life. He continued his attacks on white settlers and associated himself with British allied Mohawks during the American Revolution. He was killed in 1780 near Detroit by his nephew, who was urged on by other Mingo who were concerned at Logan's erratic behavior. Years later, that nephew stated that he had agreed to kill Logan because he was too great a man to live.